All right, what's going on, gentlemen?
How's it
Hey,
going? How's it going?
how's it going, Mr.
Hey,
411?
everything's going well. Everything's going well. I see there's got to be some smiles going. I see Philly Red Zone smiling because his Eagles had a bye week, so he was
Yeah,
guaranteed to not have a loss this week. So that's
yeah.
good, you know. And then we got Nick down there grinning from ear to ear. I wonder why.
Oh yeah, we had us a good game.
Yeah, that's a big Cowboys fan right there. So we're gonna talk today. Welcome everybody to the show, the Sports Brothers. You see Nick, you see Philly Red Zone, and you'll see Zach later on. And today we are covering NFL. So this is an NFL centric show today. We're going to cover the divisional round of the playoffs. We'll give you a little talk about what we think about the next round as well throughout the hour. But we're going to kick this first segment off with the Cowboy and the Eagle and a Seahawk, by the way. So y'all hang in there real tight, and we'll be right back to give you what you need, Sports Brothers. All right, we are back in the building. Philly Red Zone. Nick,
Yeah.
he'll be right. He'll be right back with us. Had a slight technical difficulty, but in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, please do the following. Please hit that like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Do all those things because it helps the show continue to breathe. We definitely appreciate you doing that. All right. And the room is filling up. There's also Jerry in the building. So, also, all those Cowboy fans are showing up today now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Jerry, can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you guys, man. I'm sorry I'm getting on late, man. I'm just getting finished with a game down here. I had down here
Oh,
in Mount Vernon, East Georgia College, so I just getting finished, man. Jumping in the car.
oh, no problem, no problem. You're doing well. We just kicking it off. Yeah, we just kicking things
Okay.
off, man. So we got a good 15 minutes here to talk about the Cowboys.
Oh,
And we're gonna start off with the
yeah.
Cowboys and let you Cowboy experts break it down.
Hey,
So
what?
let's get right into the Cowboys.
I'm,
All
Oh,
right.
say it again, Jerry.
I say I'm so excited because if what my fan at? Philly
No,
Red Zone, where you at?
I'm right here, buddy.
What I told you
How
that
you
score
All
doing?
gonna
right.
be. Now I was 4 points short of what I said it was gonna be, right? Didn't I say 35-17?
Oh yeah, you said that. I mean, that's to be expected. That's your team. I can't fix my mouth to say that the Cowboys gonna win anything. So I mean, that was- but
Yeah,
it was a great game. I watched the game from start to finish. I like the approach that Dallas came with. I mean, against the Buccaneers, I mean, their defense is leaking oil. They ran the ball down their throat. And Dak made plays, man. The plays that he should make against that secondary. So
well,
be happy, man. Y'all did good.
yeah. I don't like that congratulations you gave me because it kind of sounded like kind of like, well, yeah, y'all didn't beat anybody, kind of like, but
No, it's what
congratulations. Hey, that's all
I
right.
mean. What you want me to have a cowboy hat on? That's not happening.
Yeah, I
I
want
mean, y'all won.
I
Y'all
want
won
to
a
see that.
wild card game. All
See
right.
there, see there it is. There it
Wait, y'all
is.
won a wild card. Did y'all win a wild card game or didn't y'all win a wild card game?
Yeah, we won a wild card
Okay,
game.
y'all won a wild card game. I said it was a good game. I just explained everything. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm not. It is what it is.
You can feel the love in the building tonight.
Look, we in the divisional round. That was last week. That was all the money on the table. We playing poker now. All the chips is on the table. I'm going all in. Let's go. We play, y'all
Hey,
play. I'm going to tell you what. The Link will be waiting for either a 49er or a Cowboy next week. I'm going to say that
all
right
right.
now.
All right, that's Philly Red Zone there. Nick and Jerry, what's your thoughts on the Cowboys over Tom Brady the other night?
Yeah, well, I know the defense had him pretty frustrated. That was obvious. He looked like a rookie again, and I know Michael Parsons was wearing him out. So,
all right, Jerry, gonna chime in there.
What I would say is that I'm having fun about the situation, but I wasn't surprised of the outcome, and not because I'm trying to claim that we are just that good. And then on the other hand, we are, but we don't show it. We do have a Super Bowl caliber team. We're just not showing it. We're not consistent. So even with the win, my thoughts on the win wasn't about so much as that we was going to be such a better team. We just have shown our up and down play. We lose to teams that we're not supposed to lose to, and then we're and play such a great game the next game and beat a team that we should be challenged by, right? We will beat that team handily. So that's basically how I was looking at it. Even if you go back to when we talked about the Philly game, remember I said the same thing. I was kind of glad, like, okay, when we lost one game, we came and played Philly, and I said because we play better like that. So my concern is going into next week. So I'm not really concerned about the 49ers as a team. I'm concerned what Cowboy team is going to show up. And so,
right, that's good.
Yeah. And so chances are, if we're playing how we've been playing, we're probably going to lose that game. We up and down like that.
Any concerns with the kicker, Nick and Jerry? Let's go ahead and get that one out the way.
Not for me. I just think that he either just had a bad. It was either he was just off or hell he was throwing the kicks because the way he was kicking it looked like he put nothing into trying to make it. You know, my wife was screaming like I think somebody don't paid him off, and I said the way he was kicking looked like he was. So, but honestly, no, you know, everybody had a bad day, and so we'll just chalk it up to that because he's been on point. So, no, I don't have any concerns with him.
All right, what say you, Nick?
I feel like, you know, kickers can get in a headspace, man, and I feel like Brett Maher's kind of in a headspace where, you know, I go back to like Chuck Knobloch of the Yankees where he couldn't throw the ball from second base to first base anymore, you know, just because it was all in his head. And, you know, I feel like Brett Maher's in that place right now. I don't know how he's going to get out of it. I hope he does, but we'll just see.
Okay. All right. Well, the Cowboys, you know, they did their thing. They took care of business, if you will. And now they're heading to San Francisco. So that brings up the conversation. We might as well talk about the matchup for the divisional round. It's going to be Cowboys and the 49ers. And so we'll go around the table here. Let's go Cowboy, Eagle, then Cowboy. So we're going to send it right back to you, Nick, and give us your thoughts on the 49ers and Cowboys. What you think is going to happen, and what should we look for?
So both teams have really good defenses. Both teams have good offenses. I said when the playoffs started, the 49ers were going to be the team to beat. I think if they keep pressure on Brock Purdy, the Cowboys have a good chance of winning the game. Brock Purdy's just real inexperienced, and put pressure on him, he's going to fold. I also think our offensive line better stand up because the 49ers have a great offensive line. I looked for it to be a really good game, but I honestly couldn't even make a pick in that one.
Oh, that's tough. You can't make a pick. The Cowboys on the road at San Francisco.
You know, I want the Cowboys to win, but I can't make a pick in that game. I really can't, you know.
You don't want to jinx your boys?
That's one of the things, yeah.
All right. Well, Philly Red Zone.
It's a tough game. It's going to be real tough on both sides of the ball for both teams. So I'm just hoping we get through this one. Like I was telling your dad, you know, if the Cowboys beat the Niners, I don't see them having any problem with the Eagles. So
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting there. That's a bold statement there, Philly Red Zone. What you got?
I'll ignore that last statement. So I could try to be objective. Well, I'm looking at both this game. Definitely both teams have fundamentally sound defenses. Both secondaries are big question marks for me. I think, believe it or not, this is going to be a higher score game than probably people think it's going to be. I know the line is like 3, but the over under is definitely going to be, I think, over, I want to say 50 or so points between both of these teams. And it's going to come down to the small parts of the game. Who offensive line stands up, because both lines is going to be tested by the defense, the blitzes, also turnovers. Turnovers is going to be big in this game. You know, whoever lose that turnover margin, they might as well go ahead and pack their bags because they're going home. And then 2, it's going to come down to field goal kicking. I know Bill Maher had a rough week. Hopefully, you know, he going to see the wizard, you know, and he can step up because Gold, that guy, I think his name Rory Gold or whatever his name is for 49ers. I mean, he's been kicking pretty solid since he was with the Bears. And now he's a Niner. So that's the way I see it. You know, Purdy, I think eventually he's going to turn into a pumpkin where he's going to come back down to earth. He's playing above and beyond his abilities. He was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason, but right now Shanahan got him playing, you know, above and beyond, and he's playing within the confines of the offense. With that, I think Dak has the potential in this game to try to do too much. And he's going to try to force the ball and make certain mistakes that's going to cost the Cowboys, unfortunately. So, but I'll be watching on the couch for a good game to see who my boys play next week. And hey, man, the best team gonna win.
All right, we're gonna pass over to Jerry. What's your give us your outlook on the 49ers and your Cowboys?
Well, I agree with what Brett said a lot, and you know, the Cowboy hater. But anyway, so my thing is this right here. Haven't we beat the 49ers this year?
No.
Y'all didn't play them.
Didn't play them? Okay. So my thing is this here. If you look at Dallas, and I'm telling you, Dallas is a Super Bowl team. It's not about what any other team is doing to Dallas. And that's what people keep thinking. It's not about another team just dominating Dallas. It's always about what Dallas does. So my thing is this right here. And I'm going to go out on a limb to say this. If you look at the way Dallas beat teams, Dallas are beating teams. Dallas is not beating teams necessarily. Maybe 1 or 2.
Oh, Jerry. Wait, repeat that last sentence there for us. Oh, I think. Hey, Jerry. It's breaking up on us. You're going to have to go back about 2 or 3 sentences for us. You said Dallas was beating teams.
Yeah, he got a bad sell.
Yeah, Dallas is really beating the teams that they're supposed to beat. Okay. The teams that are good, Dallas are beating those teams, right? Okay. So they're beating those teams. Right here, where San Francisco has chance, they really have the receiving core to beat Dallas that way. What Dallas is that 2-headed running attack that they got. So they got to be careful. Dallas got to be careful in containment and watching it. So I do agree at some point he's going to show himself. And whether that's going to be, it's not about Purdy. It's about those people around him making him look good. And that's with any quarterback, really. So I think that that's going to bring that pressure. But then Dallas got to be careful with the running game because they don't have a receiving core that is a real threat to Dallas. I don't see that. And I'll go out on the limb to say this game probably going to be around 24-17 Dallas.
All right. Look at that. He gave a score, gentlemen.
That's
Jerry
low
gave
score.
a score. 24-17 Dallas on the road.
Higher.
I want to lay this out there for you guys. Ezekiel Elliott, especially from the Cowboy guys. Ezekiel Elliott or Tony Pollard? Who would you like to see more of?
See more Zeke because I think the reason why I say that is because we know what Tony Pollard can do. We know that, right? So even though Tony Pollard has shown that he can be better, I think teams are still afraid of Zeke. So I think Zeke got to get there, and right now he ain't gaining a whole bunch of years, but they are still afraid of him just a little bit, just enough to keep them off guard. So I think if you keep playing a healthy dose of Zeke and then putting Pollard in there like they've been doing here and there, I think you're going to be okay. I don't think Zeke is a factor, but I think people are still afraid of who he used to be. And I think from what I can tell right now, that person isn't there anymore.
All right. Any closing remarks on this matchup, Nick, or Jerry, or Philly? Red zone.
No, I said all I need to say. That took a mouthful.
All right, guy. All right, Jerry. Well, before. Oh, you had something there, Jerry?
No, I still can give Cowboys no credit. He still won't say we're gonna win.
well, depending on what happens this weekend. Depending on what happens this weekend.
31-27. 31-27. I
either way.
Whoever get the 31 gonna win.
That's a lot of that's a lot of points, but in this day and age, I guess 31-27.
Yeah, because both of the secondaries are super questionable. I mean, the Cowboys have Diggs and the 49ers have Ward, but then they also have guys who either rookies or second-year guys on the other side, and they can be, exposed. The X factor in this game is going to be Kittle. Dallas going to have to figure out how to cover Kittle. I mean, I know y'all had trouble with tight ends, so I mean that's going to be the X factor to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think we're going to be okay. We don't have to worry about any of that because at the end of the day, what I want to say is that if Dallas don't make it, remember what I said in the beginning. If Dallas don't make it, Philly's not gonna make it. So basically, Philly ain't gonna make it either way. Philly's not going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Well, with that said, gentlemen, let's transition before we get out of here.
Right.
We talked a lot of Cowboys, so now it's time to flip the script a little bit here. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, Zach is on the way too, so you'll see him in the second half of the show. But let's go ahead and talk about the Giants and your Eagles, Philly Red Zone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So let's get the Cowboys in on it first, and then we'll let you close it out with your squad.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So Jerry, Nick, who want to go first on this?
Well, we've been talking. I'll let Nick go. I'll shut
up. All right, Nick.
Good, man. Okay, so the Eagles have a good team, man. They got a good offense, good defense, but they struggled against the Giants' third-string players in the last week of the season. I mean, it was ugly against a third-string team. The entire team was third-string, all of them, and they still struggled. So, I feel like that game's kind of a toss-up too. If the Giants win, I'm gonna be talking so much shit it's not even funny. Especially to who.
I bet.
Yeah, of course, man. But then again, I could see some ugly crap like the Giants and the 49ers both winning, and then we all look stupid. So I'm just saying, it's going to be a tough game. I don't think Philly's going to be able to run like they have been against the Giants. Philly's secondary is definitely suspect. They don't have a very good secondary. It's easy to pass on them, especially across the middle. That's how Washington beat them. So, and Washington does not have a good team, but and they don't have a good quarterback either. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think Daniel Jones is playing really well, surprisingly. The game they played, I think it was Saturday, but it might have been Sunday. They actually had a really good game. They beat up on Minnesota. The score did not really represent how bad they really beat up Minnesota.
Yeah, they did bounce back, and Daniel Jones did play well too in that game, by the way.
And I don't see the Eagles really having an answer for Saquon Barkley. Just kind of try to contain him to as minimal as you can.
Boy, Philly Red Zone is holding back here for a minute.
They're going Cowboys.
Ready to roll. We're gonna let Jerry get Jerry throw some more blows in there.
Let's get Jerry out the way.
So definitely feel like the Giants. Now, don't get me wrong. Outside of the Cowboys, I think I'm a more of an Eagle fan other than anyone outside of the Cowboys. Okay, but real, I'm gonna be real. I know he ain't gonna like this.
Uh-oh.
The Eagles really is not a good team.
Okay.
They putting up W's now. Don't get me wrong, but the Eagles really is not a good team without Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts just came in and gave them a lift. It's kind of like what he said about Hurts. Eventually, it's going to show itself, and the team and who they really are is starting to show. So they're a little bit better than a 500 team if you just really want to get down to it. Now, they've been fortunate to win some games and put them on the top. I don't feel like the Eagles is really, and I've been like this all year, they're really that good because it showed when Jalen Hurts is not in the game. And so you got to rely on one person. The defense isn't that great. Who do they have? What receivers they have? They got the running back. The running core is just okay. So they're really not that great of a team, but they've been finding a way to win. So I'm not taking nothing away from them. But I do believe the Giants, I'm afraid of the Giants, and it wouldn't surprise me to see the Giants in the Super Bowl, to be honest. So my prediction is Giants. I've stuck to my gun about Philadelphia. I don't hate Philadelphia. I like them, but I've been like this all year. I don't think Philly is as good as they have that the record show.
All right, the floor is yours, Philly Red Zone.
Well, I'm gonna start by saying you don't get the 14-3 by being a subpar team and lucky. Yeah, Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. He is the starting quarterback. Gardner Minshew can't hold Jalen Hurts water. So we'll finish that right there. This game against the Giants had a good Cinderella season, 9-7-1, but it ends on Saturday at 8:15 East Coast, 7:15 on Central Standard Time. The Eagles secondary is pretty much going to lock those second and third string receivers down. CJ Gardner-Johnson to be in the slot. He's back. We didn't have him the first time we played the Giants, and we put up 48 on them. The second time, Eagles, y'all don't watch the Eagles. I watch the Eagles. They ran basically their preseason plays just to get through the game because they had a feeling they was going to see the Giants, the Buccaneers, or the Cowboys, and they didn't want to put certain things on tape. You may call it hogwash. I know the team. I follow the team. So that last game, as a fan, for what they did running vanilla stuff against third teamers, that's what you're supposed to do. Why would I show my best against you know what I mean, lesser talent? But at the end of the day, it's going to be a great game. You know, start out pretty even, but I believe the Eagles will pull away. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. I mean, Miles Sanders. I could name the whole roster. It's just talent over, subpar talent. And the Eagles will be in the NFC Championship game, waiting for the 49ers to come and pay us a visit so we can send their ass home too.
And there it is. Any rebuttals, gentlemen?
Yeah, my rebuttal is they ain't got nobody but Devontae Smith making plays right now, and he's gonna get shut down. But
okay, AJ Brown got almost 1,500 yards. I guess he a scrub, right?
We're scrub. I'm just.
Hey man, dude, we could go back and forth. I'll run every stat down, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not.
But it ain't about that. Y'all worry about your food. I'm gonna worry about mine. I hope we can get on here next week and talk about our teams facing. I want that to happen, but I know it's not gonna happen because y'all going home.
Okay.
All I'm gonna say is Debo Samuel. When you said the 49ers don't have a receiver, Brandon Ayuk. I know these rosters, and they're very talented.
We'll be here if y'all lose. I mean, if we lose, you guys will lose. So we'll be on here trying to talk about which team we supported. I'm telling you, if the Cowboys lose, then I'm willing to bet the Giants are gonna beat Philly.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Boy,
I ain't hear what you said, but the Giants is not winning. I can let you know that right now. Everybody.
All right.
So how answer this before we get off the line. How Daniel Jones go from being pretty much thrown in a scrap heap to a franchise, changing quarterback, and now everybody talking about he's gonna go into Philly and beat them. Come on now, stop. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
It's not Daniel Jones though. That's why we keep getting confused because Daniel Jones, he can't do that. Saquon Barkley is the thing. That's what opened up. And so when you look at that, that's what I'm saying. That's my whole thing. It's not about him.
Saquon was held to 32 yards against this defense when they faced each other the first time. What you think gonna happen the second time? Ain't nothing changing. Nothing changing.
I'm telling you, the team, you can't really look at it like that.
Look, I've been following football and I played football a long time.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to wins and losses and playoffs, it's a different level. You're not coming in my house knocking me out.
Look, I get it, but I'm just telling you, I'm just looking at I'm going for my gut. I like if Philly win, believe
but
me,
you got Cowboy on it. You want the Eagles out because you know y'all can't beat them. Y'all know y'all are not gonna beat them if y'all face them in NFC Championship in Philly. You know it. You are a Cowboy. I expect what you're saying, and I respect what you're saying. I don't like y'all. Y'all don't like us.
Oh, we like it.
All I'm gonna say is this. Look, the Cowboys gave the Eagles hell in the vet. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Lincoln Financial now. My bad.
Thank you.
In Lincoln Financial with a backup quarterback. The Eagles gave Cowboys hell at home with a backup quarterback. Yep. It ain't one team better than the other. They both pretty evenly matched. I'm gonna say that up front.
Mm-hmm.
So if we evenly matched, so according to Jerry, both our teams ain't shit.
Oh boy, this is exciting here, man. And gentlemen, definitely. The
I will
Brothers,
say
appreciate
to your
guys.
comment about how Daniel Jones go from being in the scrap heap to being a franchise quarterback. Look, for the last 2 years, all I've heard about is how Jalen Hurts needs to go in the scrap heap.
Exactly.
They got him a couple of receivers that are good receivers.
Yep.
Really
no, that was the national media. That wasn't Philly. I'm letting you know right now. That wasn't Philly. That was the national media. The national media don't know what they talking about. They don't like Philly. So I expect nothing but what they were saying. So but y'all not in the city of Philly. Y'all don't hear what's going on in there. It's a Philly thing. That's the whole mantra this weekend. It's a Philly thing. You got to be from Philly and Philly to understand it. And y'all not. So
we get it. I get it. I visited there a couple of times.
Hey, Jerry, visiting and being on the book ground is two different worlds, brother.
Yeah,
I visit Dallas, but I would never step foot in Dallas or live in Dallas because that ain't my kind of town.
I know how y'all are Eagles, but what I'm trying to say is this right here, and I agree with Nick on all seriousness. And what you said if you go back to the beginning, say that I don't feel that the Cowboys or the Eagles will make the Super Bowl. So when you said I don't think neither one of them are good, I don't think neither one of them are good or bad. I just think that for me, for the Eagles, it's just something about them that scares me. Remember I said this, that I haven't been sold on them. They haven't sold me yet. And it doesn't mean anything because I feel that way. Cowboys, not just because they're my team, but I feel they have a Super Bowl team. And when I say they're going to win or lose, it's based on how they've been playing, right? Like the game I picked, me and my brother been going back and forth. I told him Tampa Bay was going to lose because of the way Dallas lost last week. And so everybody's saying, okay, well, they're going to lose this week. No, they're not. Now, next week, I'm worried because according to the way we've been playing, we may lose. But if we can break past that, then, hey, it's on. That's why I feel But anyway.
All right. Well, there it is, gentlemen. What a spirited segment there. And man, Eagles, Cowboys, and by the way, the Giants too. That name came up. All three of those teams in the same division, and all three are still alive with Super Bowl aspirations. So that speaks loudly for your division. And wish all your teams the best. We'll close this. You know what I'm saying? And I will say this: Seattle. I have to just throw something out there about my team. Great season by the Seahawks. I only predicted them to win 2 games. And I was hoping one of them was against Denver. So that was great. But great season. And I like what Russell Wilson delivered for us this year. So we're going to get a top 5 pick. So so everybody, man, I thank you all for being on. And I would love to see you guys come back next week.
I'll be here.
Get that in the books. All right.
Go Birds.
My people will talk to your people. And we'll see you guys next week. We'll get it all lined up, and can't wait for that.
Yeah, make sure Philly Red Zone wear a Cowboys hat next week if we win. And they,
I hate to see that.
Not a chance. Because y'all not winning.
Okay.
All right. Well, on the other side, we'll see Zach. All right, gentlemen. Have a good night.
All right, take it easy.
All right, man.
All right.
Hi, I'm LaTanya. I'm the owner of Heavily Spun Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, you can go online to Heavily Spun Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Hello, Mr. 411.
All right, what's happening, Zach?
Nothing much. Listening to the spirited debate.
I'll tell you, man.
I see Cowboys and Eagles fans. I know they got a hard time. They're not even playing each other.
Yeah, they're already calling their shots. So yeah, man. So boy, it's gonna be an interesting weekend. We'll see how next week pan out. They'll all be back so that they can carry on the spirited debates. And I'm certain they all will have something to say.
Well, hopefully they get to play against each other next week and they can let the fireworks really continue.
Absolutely. And we're gonna cover the we're gonna talk, we'll dabble a little bit into the wild card because there's some things I definitely would like for you to share with everyone, Zach, as far as your thoughts, because you are our NFL / NCAA football expert, and there's some things that needs to be brought to light there, and hopefully the Philly and Cowboy fans have brought some information there that may be repeated by you. So we'll get to that in a second. Also, we're gonna get your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. There were some comments that were made from him and a response by Gronk. So love to get your thoughts on that in a little while too.
Okay.
But before we jump into divisional matchups for this upcoming week, what grabbed you from the wild card round?
Oh, that's easy. That Brandon Staley still has a head coaching job. I I don't think I've ever seen, definitely at the professional level, that they'll have to research it. And especially in a playoff game, that a team gets 5 turnovers, or I shouldn't say 5 turnovers. A team is +5 in the turnover margin, and they lose a game. Like I thought that game was, I thought it was over after the 3rd turnover. So for Jacksonville to come back and win when they had 5 turnovers, and I don't think Jacksonville played great or anything, that I don't understand why Staley still has a job. And I'll be more upset if the Tampa Bay head coach, they already fired the OC for Tampa Bay. If the Tampa Bay head coach gets fired, but Staley keeps his job, because like, why? Now, unless you're saying none of that was Staley's fault, and I guess, but if you can't win a game when you have a 5 turnover advantage, when you gonna win a game?
Yeah,
at least in the playoffs. So that was probably the game that really stuck out.
Yeah, 27-0 lead. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was a 27-0 deficit there for the Jaguars, and I just can't believe that, man. What a comeback. You gotta have help. You gotta have help to do that, but man,
yes, they didn't run the ball in the second half. When you're up and you have one of the better running backs in the NFL, I don't understand how he still has a job.
Exactly. Austin Eckler, like you say, he is one of the best backs out there. Even with safe passes out the backfield, you can still make safe throws, which would be like extended runs.
No, turn around, hand the ball off, like, and bleed the clocks up, like make the other team stop you. Do like somebody used to do when we played Madden way back in the day, and let's tick the clock down. It's a 40-second clock, maybe even 45 seconds. It's you can burn off some time. Like, you shouldn't have left enough time. And then Bosa has a blow up when they score. So now you bring it closer to the goal line, and they decide to go for 2 instead of kicking an extra point, and you end up losing the game in regulation instead of it even going to overtime. So that would be it. Giants might run a far or distant second. That was the game. Like, it just shouldn't have worked out that way. Everything else, I think, went according to expectations, in all honesty.
Yeah. We had some quarterback situations too, like with Miami not having Tua. That didn't help things at all for them. But they did fight well. They fought hard against Seattle. Just too much firepower over there in San Francisco. Held their own long as they could, but San Francisco was clearly the better team, and that was 3 times defeating the Seahawks pretty handily all 3 times. So definitely the better team won there too.
Well, you can see with your Seahawks, kind of going back to Jacksonville, they had the turnover with the Geno fumble, and that basically flipped the game for them, because in that situation, worst case, you should have got 3. Instead, you get a turnover. San Francisco goes and scores, and that's pretty much your game. But that's how turnovers work. That's why I'm shocked that the Chargers weren't able to close that out. But I think you said it. Seattle, as my grandfather would say, was boo-boo and tall cotton this year. They did everything that they needed to do, and then Denver helped them out tremendously. So they have nothing to be ashamed about. And the fact that they got into the playoffs is great, because I thought Green Bay was going to get in there. So even better that Seattle was able to even be in that position to play that game.
Yes, sir. All right, well, everybody, check out Jones Music Company, LLC. Jones Music Company, LLC. Terrence Jones. If you need a track made, you need an arrangement, band arrangement, uh, any type of music, anything dealing with music and writing, uh, putting it together. Even if you need like a halftime show done, check out Jones Music Company LLC. And Terrence can be reached at Jones Music COLLC at gmail.com. We'll let that run across the bottom of the screen. It is now time for the divisional matchup, Zach. And again, you heard some of the rhetoric earlier, which was very fun. And
It
looking
was.
forward to this weekend. We'll start off with the odds, okay? With the odds for this round. And at this point, it looks like the Super Bowl favorites right now, according to the odds here. You have Kansas City right there is with the Buffalo, and then in the NFC, wow, 49ers and Eagles look like they're leading the way. And these are just based on some odds, and so what they think might likely happen. But Zach, let's jump on that since they were just talking about the Cowboys. What's your thoughts on the Cowboys at the 49ers?
Well, I'm gonna go with first. I heard someone say that the Cowboys were a Super Bowl team. They're not a Super Bowl team because you're not a Super Bowl team unless you're in the Super Bowl. So the only team that can say that they're a Super Bowl team would be the Bengals because they played in the Super Bowl last year. And if you want, maybe the Chiefs could say that. But the Cowboys are a contender. To me, my question would be how buttoned up are the Cowboys? And when I say buttoned up, it's kind of like, are they going to go into the game and they like Alabama, or are they going to go in the game and they like Arkansas, where the Arkansas coaches talk about we bring in the fire water and all this other like all of that stuff is fun and everything, but that's like the good uncle or whatever. Nah, you got to be the stern dad. It's got to be a business trip, and you got to go in there and be about your business. If the Cowboys go in there and are about their business, I think the first thing, how does their offensive line play or match up with the 49er defensive line? Like I heard some things and I might have missed it, but you're playing Jason Peters at left tackle, like the most important position on the offensive line, as they say. He's probably going to get some Nick Bosa and or some of those other guys. Will he be able to hold up? So if the Cowboys line can hold up, then that will give them a chance to stay in the game. And with all of these, like the point spread is like 20 points. This isn't college football. I think it's like a 4.5 point spread. So that means they're giving the Cowboys a chance because the 49ers also get 3 points for being the home team. So they don't think the 49ers are that much better. Next, what is your offensive coordinator going to do? Is he going to call the game like he's got the backup quarterback in there to start the season? Hey, we're going to run the ball. I heard asking about Zeke or Pollard. And to me, I think the Cowboys running game, and go back to a college reference, is more like Georgia's running game. You don't really have a featured guy that you have to worry about. You just want them to go in there when they're in there, be effective, and you're going to feed them, and they interchange and give you what you need. And then when you look at the end of the night, Lord willing, you got 150, 200 yards rushing and however much receiving yards. So is he going to call the game where he's trying to, run the ball, stick with the run, because they're going to get stuffed on the run. Like, they going to get stuffed on the run, but are you going to give up when you get a 1 yard run or a 2 yard run? And kind of like what Tampa Bay did on Monday night, now you're throwing the ball 50, 60 times. If the Cowboys do that, then I think this could get ugly. Third thing, their quarterback. Dak Prescott has to play well. Like, out of all the things I said, if Dak Prescott goes out there and plays well, and I'm not saying he has to go be Dan Marino and throw for 500 plus yards, but don't be the reason that your team loses. Like, just go play. You don't need to be a hero or whatever. Like, nobody's asked you to be a Jordan in the flu game. Go out there, run the offense effectively. Don't get any turnovers. Don't make any boneheaded plays, and just give your team a chance with, say, the last 6 minutes left in the game. And probably the other thing I would throw, Micah Parsons. I've seen him a few games, and he gets dinged up for whatever reason. Maybe he plays too hard. maybe he's throwing his body in positions that he can't really land appropriately from, and it's football, so it's going to happen. So that's from the Cowboy side. From the 49ers side, 49ers going to show up with their offensive line. 49ers going to show up with their defensive line. They're going to run the ball at you. They're going to do play action. They're going to give you some, they're going to run their game plan. They're not going to try to change and throw the ball 60 times. The Cowboys going to have to make them play from behind. So I think if you're early on in this game, if the Cowboys can get up, they're very good when they know you're going to throw the ball. If the Cowboys have to play from behind, I would say that's to the 49ers' advantage. And if they stay even, now it comes down to, I go over your quarterbacks. And everybody keeps saying Brock Purdy's going to turn into a pumpkin and all this other stuff. But bottom line is, whether you're the first pick in the draft or you're the last pick in the draft, you're an NFL player. Brock Purdy's an NFL player. And he may very well play poorly. But to this point, I think the Cowboys are going to have to make him play poorly. Or the Eagles are going to have to make him play poorly. Or the Giants or whoever else. Because he's played pretty good so far. And I think he understands who he is. Almost like Cooper Rush earlier in the season, that it's not my job to lose the game. I just need to try to get the ball to Kittle. I need to turn around and hand it to my running backs and throw it to Debo, throw it to Ayuk, let them do the thing. And if we got to win this game 13-3, let's win it 13-3. With that said, and I'm doing this very shakily. But I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Oh,
I'm going to look and cross my fingers. I'm going to believe that they can hold up on the offensive line. Now, if Bosa and the crew start throwing offensive linemen around the first two series, then I reserve the right to change my pick. But I'm going to lean towards that. Dak Prescott is the veteran quarterback, and I'm going to get better play out of him than Purdy, and that Purdy will have maybe that one mistake in a game that's going to be close that allows the Cowboys to win. But as I said, the Cowboys have to do those things that I'm like, they going to be buttoned up? So that's going to be the thing. If they button up and treat it like a business trip and approach it that way, I believe they could, because I do think the Cowboys have the advantage at the quarterback position. But it's not going like it should be a 4-quarter game.
Yep. All right. We're gonna see who blinks first in this matchup.
Yes. Most definitely.
That's what we definitely gonna see. Absolutely. All right. Great analysis there. All right. Let's get another NFC matchup in. The Giants, right? They had an impressive win at Minnesota. That was actually the second time for them to go to Minnesota this season, and they got the job done. So with the Giants winning at Minnesota, which, by the way, Minnesota had an excellent season, a lot of close victories, but victories nonetheless. What do you think about the Giants in the next round?
The Eagles are going to win. Can we go to the next matchup? Like, I'm not going to waste time and insult everybody's intelligence and try. The Eagles are going to win. As long as Jalen Hurts' shoulder or arm is attached to his shoulder, they going to win. Unless you tell me he can't throw the ball at all, Eagles will win in this game. Like, and to say that the Eagles don't have any players, yeah, they might be a great regular season team, but I believe they had 5 all-pro players, and I think led the NFL with, what was it, 8 Pro Bowlers. They're going to dominate across the offensive and defensive line. And I'm going to say, like, whoever it was that said Daniel Jones, like Daniel Jones, like stop it. Eagles go win.
All right, so you got the Eagles running away with this one. All right. All right, so how do you feel? Hey, you might feel the same way about this matchup right here. Let's switch over to the AFC, and it's the Jaguars at the Chiefs.
Yeah, the only Trevor Lawrence would have to play better than I've seen him play in the NFL. I think only maybe the one game, not the recent game against the Chargers, but I think the game they had earlier in the year against the Chargers, where they looked really, really good. outside of that, he threw 4 interceptions last week. Like
right, last week.
And like we talked about this earlier in the year when I said Trevor Lawrence was losing games for the Jags because with his turnovers. He may very well become that guy. Right now, he's just an average NFL quarterback in my mind. It'd be hard for me to see him going into Kansas City. I shouldn't say hard. They're all professionals. Mm-hmm. But if you're asking me who to go with, I'm going to lean toward Andy Reid and Mahomes. And then the rest of the Kansas City team that has a Super Bowl, then it, has Super Bowl experience in that loss, has playoff experience, whereas you just threw 4 interceptions and had 5 turnovers. So I won't be shocked if this gets to double digits and the game is over by definitely third quarter, mid third quarter, into third quarter, game over.
All right. Okay, well, here's a matchup that might be a little more intriguing for you, Zach, and that's the Bills and Bengals. We'll go there. So what's your thoughts there?
If I had an answer on this one, I wouldn't have reached out to our boy Rob earlier because I'm in a confidence pool and I have to place a bet. And I took the Bengals, but man, very shakily taking the Bengals because quarterback for the Bengals is fine. Then they got some fine receivers. You know that. They got great running back tandem. Offensive line has its issue, but no offense is perfect. They can get the job done. What scares me about Buffalo is kind of what I just said about Dak, more so about Lawrence. The quarterback turns the ball over. And he turns the ball over. They'll turn the ball over and still score like 40. But in playoff games, and you know this, kind of like what I told you about Madden back in the day, when you're limiting possessions, each possession is important. And I know it doesn't seem like that based on what happened with the Chargers, but you're not really supposed to win games when one turnover, maybe you get away with it. But when you have multiple turnovers and the Bills play very loose with the ball and their quarterback runs the ball, like Joe Burrow, he may get sacked, but technically he's going to throw the ball and throw it either out of bounds or try to get it to a receiver. Bills QB, he runs the ball. All it takes is one helmet-to-helmet hit. All it takes is one tackle to the ground or whatever. And he likes to beast people and all this stuff. But you know it. It's football. You can't account for every hit. And then he's out the game. The only advantage I give them is that they're playing at home. I know they're going to be emotional. But I have to feel like the Bengals feel like they got kind of screwed in this because they were winning that game. It felt like they were taking it to the Bills. And had that game been able to get completed, you're probably playing this game in Cincinnati instead of in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. And I would say this. So this is how I'm going to judge this game. If I'm Andy Reid and I'm Pat Mahomes and I'm watching this game on Sunday like you and I will be watching this game. No, yes, I'm watching this game on Sunday like you and I will be watching it. Who do I want to come to Arrowhead? Now, I know there'll be a neutral site game if the Bills win in Atlanta, which will be great for everybody. But I feel pretty confident, especially since they've been beat, the last 2-3 times, that they don't want any parts of Cincinnati. They would rather play Buffalo than Cincinnati. So if Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes don't want to play Cincinnati, I'll take Cincinnati to win this game very close on a late field goal.
Wow. And if they do that, Zach, then we won't have to go through the scenario that you just brought up about the game being played at the Mercedes-Benz Dome. So,
I will be happy if we got that game in Atlanta, though. That would be very nice. And as Coach Mays told me, great for the economy of Atlanta. So
it would be. Yeah.
I will be pulling for Atlanta, but if you ask me to bet anything that means anything, which I did in my confidence pool, I'm taking the Bengals.
All right, Cincinnati. All right. Well, they have the explosive offense, and they are out of the two teams that played in the Super Bowl last year. They're still alive.
Yes.
And so you can't discount the Bengals at all. That's an excellent matchup. That is the game. Well, yeah, this is the game of the week. in my opinion.
Sundays will be a good day with the Bills, Bengals, and Cowboys and 49ers. That should be a really good day. Saturday,
the NFL.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, the NFL know what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
They know to put those on Sunday. All right, so there we go with that. Okay, Zach. So great breakdown there. The Zach breakdown of the divisional matchups, and that leaves us to our final, if you want to call it, broad segment here. This is a little bit of NFL notes, if you will. And before we jump all the way into that, Zach, check this out. Scientists have reversed the aging process in mice. So this is something that's happening out there
Give
in
me
the world.
some of that.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Go on and test it on me. Give me that 28, 29-year-old prime Zachariah body back.
I don't know if the world's ready for that, Zach. But
hey, I'm talking about just to get rid of these aches and pains and all these joints. I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The age, right? So that was just, made me think about a couple things. And it actually led me to two quarterbacks. And since we're talking about reversing age, Tom Brady, he is eliminated from the playoffs. And this man is he's battled Father Time. He's still ticking. And just want to get your thoughts on Tom Brady. Do you think that Tom Brady is going to return next season? And if so, where do you think he lands? And I'll give you my take on that as well.
Well, I'm not sure where he lands, but unless he hated his wife and he was just doing this every year because he wanted to force her to divorce him, he just lost his family. If he retires now after losing his damn family, when it seems like that's what she wanted him to do, that's just crazy to me. So he's going to play, and he's probably going to play for a contender. I would say watch the San Francisco situation, because if they lose like I expected, I think he can come in there, quarterback-friendly contract, or I'm sorry, a team-friendly contract. Excuse me. He should be able to do what Brock Purdy is doing.
Yeah. And there it is, Zach. I'm on the same wavelength there with you, because it just feels like that's the storybook ending as well. He grew up a San Francisco 49er fan. As a youth, he grew up in, not too far from San Francisco. I believe it was, from where the 49ers play. I think he grew up in the Santa Clara area. So he's right there, and way to put a bow to your career. And it's a contending team, so it kind of meets all the requirements. And they have young quarterbacks, right?
Who's the second best team in that division?
In that division?
Yes.
Great question. I mean, if you go off this season,
it's
Seattle. Right. If you go by this season, it's Seattle.
Yeah. I don't like Matt Stafford wouldn't scare me.
Right.
We've seen a lot of him. And then that situation in Arizona.
Yep.
I would take my chances against Pete Carroll. And hey, you just draw it. But that's the only competent organization. I guess the Rams won a Super Bowl, so I shouldn't come at them like that. But the Rams look like a tire fire. And come on, the Cardinals, once they gave what's face that contract, that was it.
It was a wrap. With Kyler Murray. Plus, the injury risk with him, with his size, and he still runs a lot. To be a smallish quarterback, it's pretty dangerous. So you just one injury away from your season going in the flames, up in flames. And with the Rams,
last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and with the Rams, the Rams just, they look like a unstoppable force that only needed a quality quarterback to get them over the hump. But now it looks like all of a sudden they're in reverse. So, and Seattle's still building, and so there you have it. So here's all the things that's in the formula right here. Winnable division. Much rather be in the NFC than the AFC, because you don't want to see, have to deal with the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals. You know what I mean? Like just those three at the top.
Those 3 quarterbacks, go on and stay away from them until you got to play them.
Right off the top. So at least have to only face one of them. You see what the Vikings did this year. You see how the best team in the South had a losing record. So it's there for the taking. Have you have receivers that can catch those quick throws and then do the rest with the run after the run. Run after catch the racks. You
Yeah.
have McCaffrey, versatile back. Done a lot of dump offs right there, a lot of play action. I mean, this sets up perfect for Tom Brady. So and then you can still develop either Trey Lance or Purdy or
Well,
both. I mean, so you still have it.
Who's the best quarterback in the NFC?
Ooh, that's a good question, Zach.
That was who's the best, because
I would say Tom Brady.
It ain't Aaron Rodgers.
I would say it's Tom Brady with the right weapons.
Is it Jalen Hurts, who everybody touted as MVP?
I think he's probably the most talented, but I would in a vacuum with comparable weapons, I would say it's Tom Brady still.
Then that's what I'm saying. I'm with you. Go to San Fran, and it offensive line, like I talked about in that game, like they are good across the offensive and defensive line. And they run the ball. He won't mind turning around, handing the ball off to his two good running backs. And
right.
So if you're still trying to play, if you want to compete for championships, I think that's what you do. And you can go in and be one of the guys. That's it. He's got to take a quarterback-friendly contract. And I know you said about Lance. I move Lance. If somebody is willing to give me some, because I doubt anybody gives you anything really for Purdy. I move Lance. Get me some picks and beef up whatever else you need to beef up on the offense for Brady.
Yeah, so he can play there another 2 to 3 seasons, in my opinion.
I just know this. You just lost your family. Why would you retire now? Unless you just wanted to get rid of that wife. Other than that, dude, you got to keep playing now. You got you already made that decision once that divorce was put in place.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, speaking about turning back the hands here of time, Aaron Rodgers, another veteran quarterback. Father time is creeping up, but Aaron Rodgers has some things to say, and he's saying that he's still a MVP caliber quarterback. And then Gronk, speaking of Tom Brady, Gronk had something to say about that. Say, why are you thinking about MVP? It should be Super Bowls. You should never be thinking MVPs. And so I wanted to get your take on this, Zach. Aaron Rodgers, where does he land right now in the as far as like status? Do you think he's still elite or is he good? And what about the comments from Gronk?
Well, I'll go with Gronk first. Gronk is speaking as a team guy, and then he's speaking as a guy that played in New England. So everything in New England is probably going to be about team. But I can say, look, as a player, you want to win the championships and everything, but you also want to be individually great while you're winning those championships. Now we go to quarterbacks, which outside of select ones, I don't really care for too much because they get pampered way too damn much, and they're supposed to be the toughest. They're supposed to be so mentally damn tough, but as soon as you bench their ass, they can't come back for it. Like everybody else on the team can get benched. You can pull the kicker out and have 4 or 5 different kickers, but the damn quarterback, as soon as you sit him down and put the backup in, he's just in the tank. So you can't do it with them, and they get coddled like that. But then more to the point too, they are the pretty boys. They are the face of the franchises, and they just get treated differently. Like think about the contracts. They get so much money. Look at Lamar, the issues he's having. So Aaron Rodgers is being this is his mentality. This is who he is. I'm not sure. Like, I'm surprised he played as bad as he played. And you have to kind of take this year of like everybody wants to get on Brady, but Aaron Rodgers played very badly this year. Like that's like it is no way to he was at the bottom of the league, and in many ways you could say he's the direct cause for Green Bay's issues. Like, yeah, they had the rookie receivers and everything, but if he had just been better, You at least make the playoffs. You at least win a couple more games. So the better question is, Mr. 4-1, and we talk about this. Like Aaron Rodgers feels like he's the old chick at the bar. Who wants to take him home? Like, so it doesn't really, like, you can want to do whatever you want to do, but if don't nobody want to take you home, it ain't gonna do you no good. Does anybody, like, he's making $50 million a year? Does anybody want him? And he's got the attitude that he has, which rightfully so, because for a good, I'll say, 5 to maybe 8 year period, he was the best person in the world, or at least top 3 in the world at what he did. Like, that's not even exaggerating. When he woke up in the morning, he was one of the 3 best people in the world at what he did. So I'm sure that makes you feel some type of way. But who wants to deal with it? When you ain't win, like, he has 1 Super Bowl and 1 Super Bowl appearance. Like, would Seattle want him for Geno?
No, sir.
Because San Francisco could try to get him, right? Like, if you're going what they're gonna do, they could try to bring him in instead of Brady. Do they want Aaron Rodgers? Would Denver
probably
want
not for
Aaron
that price.
Rodgers? Would Baltimore want Aaron Rodgers? Like, tell me who would want Aaron Rodgers.
You know, the only team that comes to mind for me, Zach, would probably be like the Jets, because they're not sold on their quarterback, and they probably feel like they need some kind of boost to overcome Buffalo and whatever other teams are in the way in the AFC. Maybe the Jets would do it, and it's the right market for Aaron Rodgers to kind of do that in. But really, that's the only one that kind of makes sense to me.
Is he going to show up and work out with your receivers and learn the playbook and all? Like, and that's like a real question, because if you bring him in, you would expect him to do that. Now, it didn't do much for Russell Wilson, but still, you would need that type stuff. Is he going to do that type of stuff? And you can get away with that in Green Bay because you have a Super Bowl and you have those MVPs and what you've done for that organization. For the Jets, you ain't done a damn thing. And that defense is bad as can be. Are them dudes going to want to deal with him?
You know, I mean, that's the $1 million question, but it seems like the right fit, because with Aaron Rodgers on the decline, having an excellent defense will help him. You know what I'm saying? It will definitely help him out.
Or would the attitude adjustment help him?
A little bit of both. I mean, a little bit of both, but I think that in New York, I think with the defense was solid as the coach, I think they may have enough there to kind of keep that under wraps. But as I say, that's the only place I can think of right now that makes sense. I mean, he could play in some other places, but if you're also trying to say, hey, have a shot at making a playoff run or something like that, that's where I would look at. That's what I'll be looking at the Jets. Of course, you got to see what's happening with Lamar Jackson, and then now the Ravens might be a place. But then again, it's some moving parts there. At least with the Jets, the quarterback situation is definitely not settled. So
yes,
he can definitely step right in there.
No, they need a move. But I would say this: if you're Green Bay, you can't trade him. If you were going to trade him or do something with him, it should have been before you gave him the $50 million a year. Now that you've given him the $50 million a year for those 3 years, you got to deal with. To me, you got to deal with him at least 1 more year, because you should have cut the ties last year. Like, what more did you need to see? Another us take a step back again? Like,
we talked about that.
And let's be real. 5 years from now, or Aaron Rodgers stopped playing football right now. 5 years from now, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and no one is going to criticize his career. Is anybody going to, like, he has a Super Bowl. He has those MVPs. I don't think anybody's going to get on him about his career. They might say he should have won more, but he has a Super Bowl. He's got the golden ticket.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens there with A-Rod, and see where that goes. It'll be interesting off season. And if he does go to the Jets, it'll be kind of like another Green Bay Packer that went to the Jets. And Brett Favre.
This is unfolding very badly for Aaron Rodgers. It really is. Like,
it is, though. When you think about it, yeah.
This could have ended. Well, this could go much better for him.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? This just hit me. What about Miami?
here's the whole thing about any of it, though. Can he still play? Like he was bad this year. Like it was he was he was a bad NFL quarterback. Like if his name wasn't Aaron Rodgers, he was bad. Jared Goff was a better quarterback this season than him. Geno Smith was a better quarterback than him this season. Like, and that's not even exaggerated. Like that's really what happened. Yeah. Their teams had winning records. One of them made the playoff in a do or die game in Lambeau Field. One of them beat Aaron Rodgers. So if you're telling me he can go play, sure. But as I said, with everything that comes with him, I'd rather have Brock Purdy. Because I can tell Brock Purdy, shut up, run the play this way. And what is he going to do? Shut up and run the play this way.
And there it is. All right. Great takes from Zach. That's why he's in the building. And all right. So great information there. Now, everybody, please hit that like button, subscribe, the notification bell as well. And that helps everything. It helps us out. It helps keep the show alive. It keeps it breathing. We're going to end today's show playing a track from Jay Edwards and his big hit, Tailor Made.
All right.
So yes, sir. So for Zach, I'm Mr. 411. We thank everyone for tuning into the Sportz Brothas show. We'll see you all next week.
All right.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Take care.
Can't help but feel the way I feel when you're not near. And it's obvious to see, with you absent there's no me. I don't know much else I can say except I need you around. I got no other games to play. Girl, I'm hoping you can stay. I really need some of your love. Cause you're the only one I wanna kiss and hug. And girl, no matter where you are, I wanna be. It don't matter where ain't no distance that's too far enough for me. No. You're the only one I need. You're all I need. Ain't no other girl for me. No. Tailor made just right for me. Tailor made. Yeah, she's the only one I need. So come here, let me love you. Baby, let me love you. There ain't no one I'm trusting but you. Nah. I wanna be that answer that you need. So come and give me a chance, you'll see. There can't nobody else but you. Get me in the mood to do every little thing that's so kinky. Cause when I'm with you, girl, I can be that energy you need to light your fire. I can be your everything you need when I'm around. No. You're the only one I need, girl. Ain't no other girl for me. No. Tailor made just right for me.